Hello watchers, we've got a ScrawlrBox today. I've not had a art subscription box for quite some time. I did get January's and February's ScrawlrBox, but I haven't done a video. But I'm hoping at the end of the year I'm going to release like a zine of some sort with all the different things that I've done throughout the year with Scrawler. So hopefully I can get on with doing that. But for this video, let's get into the box. Okay, we've got a lot of zeros and ones, data. Okay, that doesn't really tell me much. We've got robots. This is created by Imri. Sorry if I say the name wrong. Self-taught artist from Scotland who loves all things robots and cartoons. Interesting. That is actually really nicely done. So I'm guessing we've got some markers, I think, yeah. So we've got A4. It clearly says A5 and I say A4. That's how my brain works. A5 white card, 10 sheets, 250 grams. Yeah, and it feels smooth, so it's your typical white card. But I always like using some markers on cards. Sometimes they bleed, which is not good. But we shall see which ones they are. Okay. So first up we've got our sticker, which again is the same pattern as the zine, which is the zeros and ones. I'll look at that in a minute. Then the markers that we've got, I think I've actually received this one before in an Art Snacks box, which is the Marabou Graphics sketch marker, and it's the robot set, which is basically just your greys. Oh, sorry, Alphabot set. I knew it was robot or something. So it's all your cool greys. Then we have a purple Rembrandt polycolour. So is this a wax crayon? We'll see in a moment. Then we've got a hard tumph, basically a 3B pencil. And then we've got a Copic multiliner black in 0.3. I really like these as well. They don't bleed or fade with the alcohol markers, which is always good. And then our toffee is, they've changed the packaging. It's the Highland Brew Highland Toffee Chew Bar, which is really chewy toffee. It's a traditional Scottish one. But I like the redesign of this. It used to be just like a cow, and then I think white packaging with the bit of the tartan in the background. But they've gone for a very cartoony a style now, and also saying 10p, which is just funny. They used to be 5p. But yeah, that's our goodies, our supplies. And then the Scrawler challenge is Bionic Being. So Bionic, to me, is not full robot, or maybe could it be? Bionic's more like enhanced, so like you'd have your arm robotic, and then the rest of you being organic maybe. Whereas if it was fully robotic, then it'd just be robot. Okay, so we know what alcohol markers are, we know what the fine liner is, we know what a pencil is, we know what card is, but what is this pencil? Made from the best certified cedar wood. This features a coloured end that matches the lead, so you know what colour. It is high pigment powders are UV resistant. This pencil will guarantee an intense bright colour. So I'm guessing it is just your like polychromos or the Caran d'Ache Luminance. I'm guessing it's Rembrandt's sort of, well, Lyra's own version of those. So we've got a purple and lots of grey. So let's have a look in the Scrawler zine. So the first page is a little bit more information in little tips on the different supplies. Then a little sit down interview with this guy, which is nice. I like this really pink one. That's nice. And some Scrawler tips. And then we've got the gallery from January, which is very nice indeed. I like this chap with the cup of coffee. I like this guy. And then Can Robots Make Art. And then that's it for this zine. So let's have a little swatcheroo with these markers. They're a set of 6. So we've got a nice decent size set. So on these we've got dual end, which on one side is a chisel and the other is a bullet tip, which I know some people like and some people hate. Some people have decided they prefer brush tips rather than chisel tips, where, to be honest with you, I don't mind either way. This is 987, and I think this is supposed to be, does it say what the colour is? Like, it's a warm grey. Oh, it only tells you on the back of the box. It doesn't actually tell you on the pen. It just gives you the number. So 987 is a warm grey light. But I mean, they're going on the paper nicely and smoothly, which is good. And of course we have that smell. I've not used alcohol markers in so long. The card's very good at soaking it up quite nicely, which is good without bleeding too much. And then we have our pencil, which is a freebie, which is actually great because this, on the top of the markers, will actually give it a bit more texture. Because obviously the pencil will pick up all the texture of the paper, whereas the markers will soak into the paper, so it'll be very smooth. So that's, I didn't think about using a pencil with markers before. And then of course we've got our wax crayon, which is a beautiful, vibrant, does it tell me the colour? Dark violet. But this is a lovely colour. Lovely jubbly. And then of course we know that markers work beautifully, and pencil crayons work beautifully together. And I think, if I remember rightly, this pencil is actually really nice. It's nice and smooth and creamy. That if we use a marker over the top of the wax, I think it melts the wax in the pencil. So you get some interesting colours. Let's try the cool grey over the top. Let's lay down a bit of the colour. Is this a cool grey? 895, yep. So as you can see, you can sort of blend a little bit, make it a little bit watercolourish, and it spreads the colour around. Just make sure you clean off your tip as well. But again, you could use that as part of the effect. Interesting, interesting. And then of course our fine liner is just a lovely don't know why, but it's ingrained in me to always draw these faces ever since I was a kid. But yeah, this is just a lovely standard fine liner, but it is pigment ink, not dye ink, which is good. And it's water and Copic proof. So I'll show you. Basically, you lay it down, and then hopefully it doesn't need too much time to dry. Your marker can go straight on the top of it, and it doesn't bleed. Whereas a lot of fine liners are waterproof, but with the alcohol markers, they still move, so it's interesting. So, let me go have a cup of tea, have a good read of my Scrawler zine, and have a think about what I'm going to do for the challenge. What character can I come up with? So, I'll be back in a moment. For a while now, I've been playing with some characters to aid in my storytelling and architectural works. These are Archimus in Archie. Archimus is a character that finds a way through the architecting landscape, a sort of mini-me, if you will. And Archie is a companion to guide and bring knowledge from the past and from nature to aid Archimus with the architectural designs. Technology is a big part of architecture in so many ways. It is now impossible to create or build without any form of technology. So this is where my little friend Caddy comes into play. Caddy can now aid in helping Archimus with the technical side of things. I thought the name Caddy was appropriate because the main software architects use is CAD, which stands for Computer Aided Design. Plus, Caddy means a person who offers assistance, usually in golf. The design of Caddy is based on some of the old logos for the CAD software that I mentioned. I wanted to add whimsy to the character and movement, hence the wheel rather than legs. It also brings a sense of speed, which technology itself does, darting around the place, figuring out calculations to achieve results. Which, thinking about it now, the wheel reminds me of Gizmo from DuckTales, and the head kinda reminds me of the aliens from Independence Day. You know, when they've got the hard outer shell things. I'll try and find an image and put it on the overlay so you know what I'm on about. Anyhow, back to the reason I hope you are still watching, the materials and the ScrawlrBox itself. These markers are pretty good. I would say they are almost as good as Copics. Just as juicy, just as vibrant, for greys that is. I do wonder how they would hold up against a light fastness test though. They don't bleed much with the card provided, and they layer really well. The Copic multiliner, I adore these anyhow, always use them. I even think they are better than the Pigment Microns. As you saw me do earlier, you can lay them down and then go over the top with the markers straight away. And they don't smudge or smear. And they are very light fast, so you can use them for all sorts of things, not just for when you're using markers. They're great with watercolours too as well, because they're very waterproof. Again, very fast, you've not got to wait for them to dry. I hope to see more of these in future boxes, but with the different colours, not just black. Because they come in, I think, like a wine, like a burgundy red colour. An olive green, which I would love. Hint, hint, ScrawlrBox, if you're listening. Please, can we have that one? A blue, a pink. There's quite a few. Sepia, grey tones as well, I think, as well. So there's quite a few colours it does come in different size nibs as well. The graphic pencil is a freebie pencil. What more else is there to say? But they're great to work over the markers to add texture, and also great to work under the markers to correct, like, sort of draw out your shadows first and then add the marker over the top because they blend quite nicely. Well, the alcohol in the markers seem to melt the graphite a little bit, so they become really smooth but not shiny, which is nice. The Lyra coloured pencil is a great addition to this box and broadening the marker's range and capabilities. The texture is creamy so that you can lay down a lot of pigment without having to press too hard. The colour choice was a great compliment to balance out the grey tones. Cardstock instead of marker paper was a nice change and better for more techniques with the other items as well. All in all, it's a well thought out box and a great start to markers if you're a beginner. But I would imagine a seasoned vet would be able to take advantage of this box too. This box and prompt was a great excuse for me to develop this character that I've had rolling around in my head for a while. Literally rolling around. I hope you've enjoyed this video and the characters I'm developing. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the box, the materials, or even my characters. All commentary is welcome. Also, I would be grateful if you could please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, and consider subscribing if you aren't already. It really does help to support the channel. So thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.